This was the first exercise of my workout, so I was doing single arm cable curls. And when you face away from the cable tower, it allows you to get a really good full stretch at the bottom, at the extension. However, it kind of limits the contraction. But then when you flip around and face towards the weight stack, it limits that stretch, but you can get a really good contraction. So I like cycling through those positions. So I'll do like each arm facing away, then each arm facing towards. And today I ended up doing 15 reps in each position and going through, I think, 4 or 5 cycles. I didn't really count. I just went for a really good muscle pump. So this gets a lot of blood flow into the muscle, which then kind of protects and lubricates the joint. As you go into your heavy movements for bicep, you're now more likely to keep that stress in the muscle rather than having the joints take any of that stress. So this is always a good idea to start your bicep workouts with a big pump. And here was my bicep strength move for the day. So I was doing seated hammer curls where both arms were together into standing alternating curls. I have mentioned in the past that I like hammer curls for my strength work because I have a partial tear in my right bicep tendon on the outer head. So a hammer grip kind of protects that for me. It also helps grow your forearms, so that way you can have kind of a more thick entire arm rather than just a big upper arm and skinny forearms. I can kind of get that all combined. It also helps add in a little bit of grip work towards deadlift and back training, stuff like that. You can never have too strong of a grip. And by doing the 2 positions, it allowed me to kind of be at a mechanical disadvantage of the first position. When you would reach failure, you go into a mechanical advantage for the second position and can squeak out a couple extra reps. It just increases your time under tension under heavier weights to get more stress load into the muscle fibers. So it's a really cool technique to get extra work out of your heaviest weights. And to finish off the biceps, I used our angled grip football bar. And I did a set of curls. You'll see here I'm going from the outside grip into the inside. And then I followed that up with inside back to the outside. And I did kind of like 4 total sets. 2 of them were from outside in and 2 were from inside out. It helps to just kind of hit all the different fibers of the biceps. So we have the inner head, the outer head. Anytime you can do something straight in front of your body, straight like kind of out from your body, or anything across the body, you can get into different fibers. It helps you just get a more fuller, rounder bicep head rather than always hitting the same angles over and over again. So you can also flip this bar over to where it's slightly overhanded if you want to get extra kind of forearm work, if you needed any extra forearm work. So this was kind of just a nice little change of pace for the day. It really freaking hurt, so I was really happy about the pump I got from it. So if you've never tried that before, this is a really cool kind of variation of a barbell. And here was my pump work to start my triceps. So we said that kind of doing the pump work, the high volume work before the heavy stuff, again, helps lubricate the joint. It also helped going from biceps into triceps. By doing a pump, it resets the tightness around the elbow joint. So just coming out of a bunch of bicep work, the joint is going to be pulled towards the bicep side. So if you can get the triceps pumped up, that'll actually open up the bicep pump and reset the evenness through the elbow joint, and that'll actually help alleviate any tricep tendon strain you might have during your heavy movements, especially depending on the position you use for the heavy movement. So it's always a good idea if you're transitioning from biceps to triceps to do a pump work to reset the musculature tightness around the elbow joint. This protects for injury and also improves your performance on your tricep strength movements. And for my tricep strength movement, I kept that football bar, and I did a variation of a JM press. So this is typically used in powerlifting to emphasize the triceps. So I use the football bar just as a little change of pace from a barbell. It also alleviates a little bit of torque tension in the elbow compared to a straight bar. And then also using bands allowed me to kind of have what's called accommodating resistance, to where whenever I was lowering the bar towards my face, which would typically be your weakest position, your limiting position, as I push back up into a stronger, more arm straight position, I get the addition of the banded tension. So it feels lighter whenever I'm weakest, but it feels heavy whenever I'm strongest. So that way it increases the amount of workload I have to put in throughout the entire set. Because there's not an easy part of the range of motion, it makes the entire range of motion difficult. Therefore, you get extra growth stimulus out of the same number of reps. So using bands when applicable is a really cool way to get extra. And to finish off the fun, I did a superset of an overhead tricep extension from the cable into kind of like a normal tricep press down position. I used our mag grip, which is a narrow grip, and it was just a kind of a change of pace from just normal handles. Just changing a little bit of the wrist angle or the hand position can change a little bit of the fibers that you're using. So it's just nothing special, just kind of like changing the handle up for just something a little bit different. But the overhead position helps strain and kind of create more stress tension directly into the upper part of the tricep where it connects into the armpit. And then when you face down, kind of a normal tricep position, that'll work more of the belly of the muscle down towards the elbow. So I like supersetting overhead movements into regular traditional position tricep press downs because it gets you a greater degree of muscle fibers and a more balanced attack overall in the tricep, so you don't have any lagging parts of the tricep growth.